Start.
Dead Phoenix Underground!
Dead Phoenix Underground. Dead Phoenix Underground. Dead Phoenix Underground. Dead Phoenix Underground. Dead Phoenix Underground.
Welcome to the Dead Phoenix Underground show. We've got William here from various multiple bands, and we're just finding out about his new solo project and where he's going. This is Everlast Tattoo Studio where we are filming. So welcome to the show. Thanks for coming through. But tell us more. We haven't seen you since your launch. You've got longer hair on the top now. It's not as long as it used to be. But what's happening? How are things going?
Yeah, things are good. Hey, things are really good. Like the music business is going well on my side. Playing with a lot of acts and now putting together the solo project is giving me something new to focus on. A whole lot of my energy down the bass myself, doing all the horns, doing the programming, the drums, doing the vocals, anything that I want. I'm getting a lot of guest artists in as well on this on the one piece that you're going to be able to hear on this interview. I've got a snare drum player, one of my guitar students, and Angus from Angus Groove Spear from Haggis and Bong is playing bagpipes. So completely genreless.
Genreless?
Yes, completely genreless. Releasing stuff in every genre you could think of. There's going to be death metal, there's going to be pop, there's going to be rap, there's going to be just anything that I want to do, I'm going to do it.
You've done Haggis and Bong before, you still part of the group.
Yeah.
What are you doing out there now with those guys at the moment?
I'm playing trombone with that. A lot of people expect me to be playing bass, but we've actually got an amazing bassist. His name is Xavier Knox. He plays for Pluto Was a Planet and Man as Machine, I think that's right. Yeah, he's a funk bassist. So that fits in extremely well. I'm playing trombone over there.
Okay.
So because there aren't vocals, the trombone almost becomes a bit like the vocals.
The original band was?
Leak.
Now how did that fit in from that to AIA to everything else?
Well, I ended up joining Leak. That was kind of an accident, actually. Paul Joyer from ATFN and the Slash Dogs came up to me one day in high school in Standard 9 and said that he's got this band that is looking for a trombone player. And do I want to go and check that out? So it was kind of fun, but I had no idea what punk rock was. All that I listened to really at the time was Andrew Lloyd Webber, and I think I might have been listening to Metallica by then. But yeah, so I ended up being dropped in the deep end very quickly with Leak and learning, getting into the whole culture with that band, touring the UK once as well with them. And then when Leak broke up, there was a big space, a big hole in me. I needed to fill it, and I'd always been the metalhead in the band. Yeah. So joining Architecture was very much like a release for that, to be able to play really heavy stuff. I love that kind of music, and it's one of the most enjoyable things to perform. So I love these different bands and these different styles.
So you got to say hi to your mom.
Hi, Mom.
Because now I've got to ask who your biggest influences are, and your mom's now being given a shout out, so you can't say your mom. So who is your biggest influences nowadays, musically and as well character-wise?
Yeah, that is quite a tricky one. Musically, I've been very inspired by musician composers, songwriters who really stick to them, run things themselves. So Frank Zappa is a huge influence, especially for the humor in music. That's something which I think has been lacking quite a lot, especially in hard rock and metal. It ends up becoming very serious, and I love humor in music. So Frank Zappa would probably be my biggest influence, I think, at the moment. Character-wise, that's a difficult one as well. I don't know. I think I really look into myself a lot for answers like that. To be inspired by the best person that I can be.
Avant Frenzy?
Yeah, it was a long time ago, yeah.
Okay, I want to hear about this, because this is interesting. They're Christian, aren't they?
Yeah, that was back when I was with the League, and I hadn't developed an anti-religious sentiment quite yet. Everyone has the free speech, you must go and say it how you want to say it. And that's one thing I do respect about Architecture is that we do say that, we do express our opinion on religion. A lot of people are shy about that.
Do you think that your anti-religiousness is so anti that it's become a religion on its own?
My own religious perspectives have become a little bit more tame over the last few years. For example, I don't know if you know this, but there are more stars in the sky than there are grains of sand on Earth. and that's pretty fucking amazing. That's awesome. Songwriting, ultimately. Songwriting. I want to write songs that people are going to listen to 100 years from now. I have this desire to like compose in all sorts of new and like unique ways. Take Architecture and Fuzzy as examples of this. You're slightly limited by the music that you can write. Architecture can't put out like a pop track. Fuzzy can't really do a death metal track. Like I've been doing music since as long as I can remember. I picked up the trombone when I was in standard 3 and did that all the way through matric. I left school. I had this this backup plan, which was doing computer science. My parents divorced and my life was sent into chaos. I had to live on my own all of a sudden. I went to go visit my mother in the UK. She was there for a little while in September of that year, and I managed to get tickets to see Sepultura. And right before going to see Sepultura, I went past Camden and picked up some potent Hawaiian mushrooms. And I remember being knocked around in that mosh pit, just like aghast, going, there's only one thing better than being here, and that's being on that stage. And then within about 4 or 5 months, I was playing with Fuzzy Gish as a permanent member. 2004, I played Woodstock with Architecture and Fuzzy for the first time, and that just gave me this serious kick of like, hey, I mean, like I don't need to be stuck in one band. I can be doing different styles. And since then, I've been trying to put together this solo project, but it took a lot longer to learn all of the other instruments that I need to be able to do, and especially singing. That one is quite important and is a little bit tricky. On the solo stuff, I'm going to be doing singing, and screams and voice acting, all sorts of stuff. It's a track called "Wipe Those Tears." It's a lullaby. It's the generic soldier singing to his wife or his girlfriend or his daughter, before he goes to war, and saying that I'm going to be coming back. Just believe me, I'm going to be coming back. So it's a rather heart-wrenching kind of thing. But you'll hear it's very pretty. The second half of the song is going to be heavy, extremely heavy. So that part is then when the soldier's at singing from the grave after being killed. I'm a patriot. I love this country more than any country on earth, and I have every intention of being here and contributing to the music industry here on a permanent basis. I think that we give our music industry a little bit too much trouble sometimes. I've seen it grow so well since the days with the League, and I think it can improve in so many ways, and it must. But it's actually pretty damn healthy, to be honest. Getting Jen involved with architecture has been a very, very, very positive step, because it does allow us to do the music. I've never actually had somebody doing management. It's a brand new thing. With Fuzzy, we tried it didn't work out, so we manage ourselves completely. Except we do have a fifth member, Nick the Fool.
Welcome Angus from Haggis and Bong. And yeah, this is SA's Got Talent No More. Lovely guy. We just would like to say thanks for joining us today. William's obviously joined up with you, you've joined up with him, it's a collaboration. We're on some of the tracks. How's your influence going to influence this? Because it's a strength situation, being a dictatorship, and now he wants to work with people like you. So
yeah, well, I'm really enjoying working with William, because a lot of the time we worked on stuff before, like that other old track we did, and then we just seem to have this gel when it comes to doing tracks in the studio. We both have a clear vision of where the song needs to go, and yeah, I think that's also part of the reason why I asked him to get involved with Haggis, is because it brings so much to the band. Having that extra voice of the trombone there, over the pipes and brass just seem to work so well together. So yeah, it's just really a happy coincidence that we met each other and we can have the opportunity to bring the stuff up.
I have to remember back to the last show, Tempest, and the lights were out.
Yeah.
Haggis and Bong comes on with just the pipes, and the lights come back on.
It's like Diego Maradona's known for the hand of God. So I think we have the pipes of God. We seem to have these random moments where things like that just happen.
That's one thing that's awesome about Haggis, is that you don't need amplification. Gus is such a legend for being for having the courage really to do something new. That's one thing that I utterly admire about Haggis, is them putting together this band with death metal drums and pipes.
Next up, we're going to be having William in the studio and taking a look at what he does behind the scenes.
It's animation of like, that's gonna be fucked up. You know, like the kind of thing you don't show your friends you go on ass.
I can't believe I know this guy's
Check this out.
I want to know, you've got 3 more years to go before you have to down a certain jar of filth. Have you still got that jar, or?
This is a good question. But no, it's not 3 more years, it's 23 more years. It's at my 50th birthday, I'm going to down a shot.
A shot of it?
Yeah, but I'm not so stupid as to expect it to necessarily go on right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it to some fucking serious microbiologist and find out if it's safe to drink it. If it is, I will. If it's not, I'm going to cure liquor out of it.
Okay.
And drink that. Do you want to come see where it lives? Come, I'll show you. Yeah, I must admit, I'm extremely impressed that you asked about this. Okay, so she lives in here. You come look at her there. This is my first pet, actually. Oopsie, the lid came off. That's not good. There we go. You can smell it too.
Oh, God, man. I want to smell that.
There you go. There's the lid. So, this is my jar of filth. I do recommend washing your hands at some point.
Dude, that is nice.
Yeah, this is just me dealing with my fear of filth. Ever since I made this, filth doesn't freak me out anymore. So it's like a little bit of a therapeutic thing. My precious.
Yes, you are such a conceptual artist.
We just rocked it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
This is a big shout out to Dead Phoenix.
Yeah, Dead Phoenix.
Dead Phoenix Underground. You fucking rule. Thank you so much for contributing.
Yeah, and the Everlast tattoos, of course.
Yeah, it's good to be there. Indeed.
Life's fading away. Seems like they've got us on our knees to stay in the land of guilt. Nobody is free. Keep on chopping down this misery. Gotta get on top of this hierarchy. What'll be, will be, will be. What'll be, will be, will be, will be. Yeah.
Sweet baby, from that face I love. Wipe those tears, pretty baby, ain't you crying enough? Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. 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 Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
You